Hello, welcome back to I Want a Lockpick. Okay, so having completed the labyrinth, I think it's time to continue with the backside. So yeah, we rested here after completing that big monstrosity of a level. But now we need to move on. So yeah, here's the backside. I don't think we've ever seen it before in this playthrough, so this is the first time we'll be seeing it. Look at this. So yeah, we have a lot more worlds. We have that thing over there which requires 11 keys. So this is 6 keys, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is the last world, and then, you know, we'll be doing stuff in here, I guess, with this new object or something. But before that, we have 5 more worlds to complete. So let's go see what those are. Starting with this one, World 7, which is the only one I can access right now, actually. So let's do that. Mooncloud Lake. Wow, a long name title. Okay, so we got some levels here. This might be the intro levels. What are these? What are these? Look at these things. They are doors, but with 2 colors. Welcome to Mooncloud Lake. Feel free to take in the scenery. I'm sure you were wondering what could possibly top the weirdness of negative keys. So behold, what are these anyhow? I personally like to call them bi-colored doors. Have fun figuring out how they work. Okay. So with 6 white keys, I can't open that. Can I open this? Yes. It brings my count down to -6, which doesn't work on that. Okay, so yeah, 6 keys for this. I think you can see it here, I think. Yeah, the cost and the color are different. So here it costs 6 white and it's an orange door. Here it's a cost of 6 orange but with a white door. So here I want to do this, which basically subtracts the number of locks here but from the orange value, which brings me down to -6 for orange because it subtracts from orange. So now I want to open this. I definitely need 6 orange keys for that. But obviously I need to go down to 0 first, so I have to clear out my keys with the blast door. And this should bring... okay. This would bring me down to -2, which I think is bad, right? Instead, I want to open this first, so that when I open this door below, it brings me to -4, which is good because this should bring me back to 0. Yeah, because it subtracts -4 from -4, which is basically the same as adding 4 to it, which is equivalent to bring it to 0. So yeah, okay. Well, I sort of see that because there's a cost of -4 here, I actually need -4 to open it, I think. So I think what I need to do is actually, I need to balance my keys out and clear out the 12 orange using the blast door. So this balanced my value to 0, allowing me to open the blank door. I can collect the 12 and clear it. And the -12 should bring us enough keys to open that final door. So this will subtract -4 from the white, which will bring me to 0. Okay, that was in fact very weird. Okay, next one. How about these? How about them? As you may have observed, opening a bi-colored door depends on satisfying the requirement of the inner color and affects the key count of the outer color. You can call them the lock color and spend color for short. Let's put that knowledge into practice then. Okay, so 3 bi-colored doors here. Okay, so the inner color is the lock color because it represents the requirement. The outer color is the spend color because it represents the amount that changes. Okay, so this requires 0 orange and this requires 0 purple. I can immediately walk through one right now, but I can't walk through both because when I collect this 2, the bottom becomes inaccessible. Okay. So to gain access, well, I need to end with 0 of each color, meaning I need to subtract both 2 orange and 2 purple. Okay, well, looking at the spend color, which is outside, there's only one way to actually subtract 2 orange, which is up here. Then I need to lose 2 purple as well, which I can do either via this or this. I think this is interesting. Going down here with 2 orange allows me to bring my color down to 0 purple. So actually, both of these doors seem to do the same thing to purple. I mean, I can choose which one I want. I think the idea is that because I now need to open this one and this one, I only have 2 more cyan keys. I need to open this one instead. So this is definitely not going to be part of my solution, because I only have 8 keys and those 8 keys are already assigned. Okay. Well, I need purple keys to get down, so I need orange keys to get down here. So I think the idea must be to collect this, and then collect the orange keys so that I can bring my purple down to 0. And then with 0 purple keys, I can access the top door. Yeah, and this should allow us to solve everything. Okay. Good stuff. I think I get it. I think it will take me a while to get it still. What in the world is this? 97? That is black 97. Okay, one last thing. All locks have both a condition to open and a formula for how many keys to add/subtract. Both are based on the lock color, and the amount to spend is simply applied to the spend color instead. With that in mind, try to predict what these blast doors will do before you touch them. Alright, so here I will, well, the requirement is orange, but the spend is cyan. So what will happen is whatever happens to orange here would instead happen to cyan. So instead of subtracting 5 from orange, we subtract 5 from cyan, we get 2 cyans instead. Yes. And then instead of this, here, I subtract 2 cyans, but instead of doing that to cyan, I do it to orange, so I will get 3 orange and 2 cyan out of this. Yep. Okay. So here are some numbers. These look very... These look very multiple of 2 for some reason. Okay. Okay, then I feel like going through these basically multiplies my key count by that amount, right? So for example, if I have -8 and I walk through this 4 times, I will subtract -8, or that is add 8 to cyan. I will add 8 to cyan 4 times, because the red keys don't change in value. So doing this, I think, will bring me to 32 if I try to go this way. 34, because I started with 2 cyans. So yeah, it gives me 32 cyans, and then with the 2 I have, I get 34. Okay. And the 2 orange keys here basically indicate that eventually I'll only be able to go through one of these paths, and I can't open a second path along the way. Aha, so this must mean that by going through exactly one path with some amount, that multiplication plus the 2 I have goes to 97. So subtracting the 2 from here, I need to gain 95 cyan keys here. And I would say 95 is 19 times 5, I think. So the obvious choice is to have 19 red keys and walk through here, which is 16 plus 2 plus 1 if I do binary. Do that 5 times. 97! Yeah, so the final step is that when you walk through this, the amount of cyan keys is subtracted from black. So we get to negative 97 black, and that is perfectly enough to open this, and with 0 black keys left, I can open this blank door. Whoa, did the color of the background just change? I guess it did. Wow. Okay. So we are now subject to undulating color palettes here. Okay, so interesting. They just implemented a multiplication system out of this that isn't obvious. Oh, the music changed too. Yeah, I just saw it down there. It's a different song. Oh, look at that. The reflection. Wait, I'm noticing so many things out of this. There's a reflection of the actual level up here. That's so cool. The skyfish. We have 2 levels to explore. I guess this might be level 5? Yeah. Okay, let's do the skyfish. Whoa, big numbers here. All glory to the big fish in the sky. Whoa, you're on it. Yeah, I see. There's a smiley face here. It's a big fish. You're one step ahead of me, it seems. It seems you want to solve this riddle, one involving your favorite door type. Bi-colored blast doors. Exclamation marks. Okay, so I need 48 white. I will multiply a number by 3, or 2 or 1. And that will subtract a negative value, i.e. add a value to white, which I need to sum to 48. Okay, well 48 is 16 times 3. It's also 24 times 2. It's also 48 times 1. Well, it's definitely not 48 times 1, because I don't think these sum to minus 48. I could get them to sum to minus 16, I believe. A 4 and a minus 3 here is a positive 1, so... that's not good enough. So hold on, if I summed everything, what do I get? Oops. I get minus 14. I guess the idea might be that... it's not a multiplication because I can access these anytime I want. Yeah, in the previous level, when we fell down, I guess we lost access to all the keys up there. So we couldn't do things in a certain order. Here we can. Here, for example... Well, I don't see the point of just collecting all of these and multiplying by 3. That gives us our maximum value, potentially, which is 18. And that is clearly too much. So we need to trim that value down to 48, which means we need to subtract 6. Okay. Well, I can subtract 6 by just not having 6 when I do my first door. That removes 6 from the equation to start. And then by having 6 for the next 2 doors, that 6 is added back in for the next 2 steps, and that brings me 48. There you go. Accidental solving. Okay. Hopefully that was easily understandable. I don't know, it's kind of difficult to explain, really. Alright, 7-5, unchangeable. What's this? Another key type. Madness, etc. These are star keys. Once you pick them up, the key count for the corresponding color is locked at its current value. It's not rocket science really, although the cute star ahead would imply otherwise. Okay, understandable. So collecting this, then the star, locks my value at 4. So even if I lose keys by doors, my value stays at 4. And I guess collecting keys also doesn't change anything about that. Alright, good, understandable. Well, I guess I might as well collect this right now. I will have to get rid of it eventually. But eventually I'm going to have to walk through this blank purple door. Which is, well, not good here, by the way. Then I have to collect the key, get rid of it, and then open the purple door again. Okay. Well, I can see that if I collect the star key at 0, I can just walk through this final step. In fact, if I do it right now, I can just walk through. But of course, things are more complicated than that. I will say it's probably true that I need the star key to walk through this. Because every key that subtracts purple, which are the ones with the purple outsides, are all multiples of 2. And then all the keys are also multiples of 2, or sign flips. So this one key needs to be ignored. So I need the star purple key for that. Okay. So doors that I can open right now, well, there's really only one. That will bring my value down to minus 4. The rest all require some purple keys, which I don't have. Okay, so I can also master key through something right now, but let's try not to right now, and we'll eventually see when we can use that master key. So now with minus 4, I can open either this door or this door. This door doesn't do anything, I think. Because the subtraction will occur on white, but since white is exacted, I think I'll say exacted. I was thinking of using the word star just now. Starred. So the number of white keys is starred. But that's a bit ambiguous. Doesn't exactly tell me what it does. So I'll say the word exacted when there's a star effect here. So the number of white keys here is exacted. Therefore, doing anything to white here doesn't do anything. This will not do anything to my key count. Correct. Okay. Well, if I sign flipped right now, I can access this door. Otherwise, I can open this door, which brings me to 0. Okay. Looks like I eventually need to open this door. I can either use a master key here, or I can collect the -6, sign flip, and then open this door. Okay. Only this door requires 5, which I think is interesting. Actually, here's a question. Can I ever unstar this? Huh, I might not be able to. Ah, okay, I might not be able to. That might lock this to be the one that's golden. Because I can't collect this 5 and do anything about it. My number was yet 4. This is never openable. With white keys. It has to be with your master key. Okay, with that knowledge, everything else now must be done via normal keys. Okay, so the 6 here, in fact, is the -6 sign flipped and then opened. The -4 can open this, bring me to 0, but that's really bad because I can't do anything after that. So my only choice, I think, is to sign flip and open this. Yeah, that keeps my number at 4, which makes sense. Okay, not a good idea right now. Because right now I can only open this guy. And then I don't suppose this -6 can do anything. This brings me to -2. And then sign flipping doesn't do anything. Well, no, sign flipping actually gives me enough to open that. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I did everything right. There you go. Okay, wreak havoc right there. Got a high score. Alright, let's do 7-6. Elements. Whoa. Okay. Aha, let's pick up those master keys and make for the exit. Except, an interesting property has revealed itself. If a door even has the slightest amount of gold on it, master keys cannot affect it. I suppose you have to open these blank doors the old-fashioned way. Okay, so I can't open this with a master key because there's gold on it. Okay, so I guess I have to clear this and then open this. Which gives me... It gives me 60 pink and 8 blue. I can have any number of master keys at the end of this. Yeah, because these don't have any requirement on master keys. They just have gold on them. Okay. Well, I need to clear out 60 pinks. That's like the most glaring issue. Is it possible I clear out 8 cyans? I can do that via this door only. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, the rest of the doors don't even add up to 8, so it has to be this door. These doors are not opened by a cyan, therefore. Okay, that's interesting. I'll mark them down. It means they're either master keyed through or I don't go through them at all. I'll have to go through at least one of them, of course, but I'll use a master key for that. Okay. For 60, I guess the 320 is like the obvious answer. The remaining keys add up to 1, 2, 3, 7. 7 plus 5 is 12 plus 6 is 18. That's also not 20. So if I missed out a 20, I can't regain, I can't lose another 20 using the rest of the keys. I have to collect all of these as well. Okay, so that is really interesting because now every single one of the non-20s are also just either golden or skipped. Okay. I have a feeling the top path is how I get through. Yeah, and I can see it right now. The actual goal is to, number 1, forge a path through, and number 2, get to every single necessary door using only 5 master keys. The shortest path is these two, and this one here. And I think that is the only way in as well. I mean, it's one you can easily see. To easily prove, I think, is a bit harder. But it really shouldn't be a problem. There you go. I could probably prove it if I wanted to, but I don't. There you go. Alright, 7-7. Supernova. Oh, okay, this is big. Hey, look, someone went and hole punched a few of the star keys, making them unstar keys? I suppose that term will work. I imagine the logic here is easy to follow as well. If a star key locks the key count into place, then an unstar key makes it susceptible to change again. So I can collect the 7 and star. Whatever I do to 7 won't change, but I can collect the unstar key to unstar myself, and then now my key count will change. Okay. Well, I must start by doing the 7. I can star or not star, I don't think it really matters right now. In fact, it's better if I don't star yet, until I decide what I want to do. So the exit is down here, and I need -8 to go through here. This requires 2 purple keys to open. What in the world are these? Sure. I can see that... Well, there really are only 8 purple keys I can access. -4 and -4 here, which sum to -8, which means I can open this then. That's fine, I guess. And I can open a bunch of other doors if I start the -4 to begin with. Okay. I'll definitely need to collect this first. So in here is one of my priorities. So how do I get the 8? How do I get the 8? How do I get the 8 cyan keys? I know I have to get the 8 because I need to collect this and enter here. Therefore, both of these cyan doors need to be open. Therefore, not only do I have to master key 1, I have to collect at least 8 cyan keys to go to the other. Okay, the key must be this one over here. Because by opening this, I gain keys on cyan. Yeah, so I subtract a negative value from cyan, which means I add the cyan, so cyan increases via here. It increases by 3, and I feel like the interesting thing is I want to, at this point, use up exactly 8 and then end up with 0. So to get to 8, I need to actually lose 2 first, I think. Which can either be done here and here, which isn't possible because the 4 here blocks the way, or here. I am somewhat certain, therefore, my first step must be to do this to go down to 5. Then I star. By doing that, opening this will get me to 8 exactly. I can open everything else afterwards, including this blast door, which is why the star is necessary. Okay, well with that, we can already open every cyan door without fear. That won't change anything, except, you know, unlock things for us. Is the music playing like by a day-night cycle? That's kind of cute. The music is opening by a day-night cycle. Okay, so here what I want to do is I want to... Actually, this will bring me to -4. Oh, if it brings me to -4, then... Is there a chance that this isn't necessary anymore? I'm not entirely sure. I think the unstar might be unnecessary. The unstar might be necessary. Okay, I need to go to 0. I think that means that what I'll have to do is actually go up the top path, back down to 0, and then collect the -4s later. I would assume that's what I need to do, even though I'm not entirely sure about that. I -4 and then I star, which allows me to open a bunch of things. I can't actually open this right now, can I? Because if I did, I can't actually increase my key count to 8. Wait, but how do I open this then? Fascinating. Does that mean I need to get my key count to 8 first? It might mean that. I need to get my key count to 8 first. But that doesn't make sense, because how do I get to it if I can't star? I need to star here, right? Because I can't enter here at 0, I think. So there's no way I can unstar like before that. But I can't star here either, can I? I'm not quite sure. I know that this is one of the steps that I need. But I definitely need to get in here early. Actually, yeah, the idea I need to get in here early is really unfortunate. I do need to get to 8 right now. But how will I do that? There's no other path to get me to 8, right? Except to subtract 2 and add 3? Yeah, I subtract 5. There's no way I can add 6. So yeah, I mean, how else am I gonna... Okay, well, it's possible that a master key is used here, right? Ah, I think I see how. Yeah. So master key is used here. Then I go to 8, then I star. The idea is that after blasting, I can actually open both of these. Because my value is start. So I'll open one, I'll unstar, open the other, go down to 0, and then open the third blank door. Okay, so that means the master key has to be used right now, because I don't need to use it later. Okay. Unfortunately, it means that I think I have to go down the bottom path. Okay, well I can do that if I did this and Well, I need to get to 0. Not sure how I'll do that. Because this takes -5, which isn't good. Okay, well what I can do is I can start the value, open all of this, open this as well, unstar so I can go down to 0 using the door on the top again. Okay. Now with this master key I open this, I lose one. Do I star here? I might need to star here. So I can open both this and this, I think. Okay, this brings me to 8. And now I star. I open this, I open this, I open both of these. I open one of these. I unstar. I go down to 0. Yeah, this works. I unstar on purple. I get to -8 and I open that. Cool. Wow, that was complicated. There were a lot of options and most of them look like they work until the very end. Okay, 7. I guess 7B is also done. Yeah, noble influence. Okay, 79. Sorry, 79. 7-9. 7-8. So let's do 7-8. Sure. Digits on display. Ooh, what are these? It appears that the market is open for all sorts of weird key traits in this puzzle. Thank goodness this cloud is only large enough to support the weight of everything. I'm suddenly slightly doubting the nature of these clouds. But hey, they get the job done. Looking pretty is a bonus too. Okay, so I start with 4 keys. Right now openable are these 2 doors. There's a whole chain of choices I need that gets me to this over here. Okay. I can get to a negative value by having spend colors here. So each of these subtract my spend color by 4, which allows me to open these. Okay. So the idea is that to get to 24, what do I need? Well, there are 2 ways to change my key count. It's either via the blue keys or via these doors, which will subtract 4. Okay, do we know which one we want to collect? Well, 4, 6, 10, 12, 14. These sum to 24. So these sum to 10, so the total is 24. And then with the 4 I have is 28. Okay, so with 28, there is a chance I lose 4 blue keys to do something. For example, I can open this door. -8 here allows me to open this and this for this and this. That's a loss of 4 in cyan for some purple utility. Which I might need for like these, I guess. Those will subtract 4 as well. But I do notice that these bring us upwards towards 0. Which in the goal of getting 24 might be necessary or useful even. Like a -24 going through here brings me to 0, which is good. Because then the 6 afterwards actually goes up even further. So yeah, these are other ways to get closer to 0, closer to 24 as well. But to actually get to -4, right, I kind of have to open both of these, I think. For which I'll need 4 cyan. I guess the idea must be to do this. Won't this... Oh, what? Oh, I have -4. Oh no, my purple value changes as well. Oh, so the -8 is no longer necessary to open these things. Yeah. So I can do this kind of stuff. Ugh. And I need to eventually get to 24, right? I don't even know what I'm gonna do about this. Well, 24 implies that I do in fact need to open these, I think. Well, at least one of these. These will put a big dent in my purple key count. Some of them require a higher number, like 8 here, which I can definitely do, but 8 purple is kind of interesting as well. Okay. Is there any information I can deduce right now? Besides the need to open 24 locks, I guess. Okay, well, here, I can open these to open both of those down there. What is bad about that? I am not sure. It seems like I have opened doors for 0 cost at all. Like no cost at all, actually. Which is good. The only way I could think that might be detrimental is if I need these doors to do something. But let's assume we didn't for now. Okay. We can do the same on the other side. Which I guess is interesting as well. So by doing this... Actually, I have 4 right now, huh? Okay. Oh, that's not good. I can really only open one of these. This requires 8, but I guess I don't really need that. So if I did these right now... This I don't suppose will get me... No, I am off by exactly 2 actually. Oh. Well, that is unfortunate. If I'm off by 2, then I need those 2 keys down there, which I clearly can't get. I guess the -4 that I have currently is kind of not so good. Can I get to 8 somehow? I can actually, by doing this. Oh. Well, in that case, I can now very easily just unlock the door down there. And I think we're done, aren't we? We might not be. There might still be some issues. Don't... Oh, both bring us to 0. Which is bad, except it's not in the case where I open this first. Here, I can keep going below 0 because there's no requirement on purple. Yeah, okay. Good. Then we're done. Okay. I guess we've accidentally solved the puzzle again. A lot of that keeps happening nowadays. I don't know if it's a good thing that... I don't know if it's a good thing that I'm accidentally solving these. There might be some important information that I'm skipping by doing that. But okay. Is this E? No, it's 10. Alright, let's do 7-9. Key maze. Oh my goodness, what in the world? This has to be the easiest puzzle I've ever seen. Just a single door, all on its lonesome. Surely one of the many keys presented before you will suffice to open it. My sarcasm is palpable, you say. I'm glad you noticed. So I need to get out with 0 keys. This has to add up to 0. Okay, well, I see some star and unstar. I think star is interesting because all of these parts have a star. And so it's very likely that eventually I need to unstar as well. Yeah, to have collected any of these stars, right, I'm pretty sure... Well, if I can find a way to get to 0 and then star, that would be great. Because I could just walk through and be done with it. But otherwise, I'll have to collect some keys, star, walk through some other keys, unstar, and then use the open paths to collect the required keys to bring me down to 0. Okay, what are some ways to get to 0? Well, looking at the positives, we have kind of very few positives. Oh, in fact, these are all... Oh, wait, hold on. A lot of these are exact. And the non-exact ones are... Well, surprisingly, actually, the non-exact ones are all multiples of 2 again. Sorry, powers of 2 again. Is this another binary adding thing? Like, what I want to do is find a number and then find a way to bring myself to 0 by doing that. Always a negative. So it's likely I only a positive value that I can access, which will bring me to 0. Okay, well, let's do some math, I guess. Alright, let's start. We'll start with the number here, I guess. So 77. What is 77 the sum of? Well, it's 64. If we add 8 to it, we get 72, so that works. If we add 16, it's too much. It brings us to 80. So we don't add 16, we add 8. Then if we add a... Well, from 64, we need to add 13, which is 8 plus 5. So we just need to add 4 and 1. That should give us 77. If I did my math right, it's 68 plus 9. Yep, 77. Okay, let's put that down in cyan, because I think that's the most visible color. Which is not really, but on white it is actually very visible. Okay, 92 is next. Whoa. 92 is 64. Add 32 to it brings me to 96, which is too far. So 16, that's 80. We need 12 more, which is 8 plus 4. Okay. Oh, don't do that. I said don't do that. Where's the thing? Yeah, there you are. Alright, 71. 71 is again 64. This time we just need to add 7, which is 4 plus 2 plus 1. If you don't know about the system of binary, it's a very nice system. In fact, the system of ternary also works, and basically every single base does this, but binary is particularly elegant. The idea is that in binary, you can get to any value by summing powers of 2, such that there are no repeats. So in this case, I've done it for all 4 of these. I'll proceed to do that for 54 as well. 54 is... well, this time I can't use 64 to start, so it's 32. And then I'll need another, I think, 22 more. That is 16 plus 6, so that's 16 plus 4 plus 2. And this will bring us to 54. So yeah, it is possible to gain every number by just summing distinct powers of 2. This is a property that also works in ternary, as long as instead of no distincts, as long as instead of no repeats, you add the condition that there cannot be 3 of the same value added. So like, for example, 5 is 3 plus 1 plus 1. So in powers of 3, as long as there are no... If you add the condition that there are no sets of 3 identical numbers in your sum, then in ternary, it's possible to gain every number using the sum of powers. And in fact, in each of these cases, it's also possible to... It's a one-to-one matching, I mean. Like, how do I say this? For every number, there's exactly one combination that works. And yeah, that is true in ternary as well, I believe. And in fact, in base 10, it also works, but the condition is you can't have more than 10 of these same character added together at once. So yeah. Okay, that was a lot of math. That was kind of confusing. But we have this now. Let's try and see which ones we can use. So I'm kind of drawn to the fact that two of them are even and two of them are odd. The difference between these two is that one of them will have to use the 1 and the other will have to not use the 1. Actually, it's kind of hard to get to the 77 if we start so early. In fact, because we have to go through something first, I feel like I have to start by collecting the 92. Because otherwise I'd start before collecting these values, and that wouldn't work. So I have to collect this first and then star. Okay. Well, I can access some stars, but in that case, it means we need to collect all of these afterwards. Which I can do. I will need 64, 16... 64, 16... Ah, wait, but the 64 is already collected. Oh, we can't do that then. Wait, okay, then 92 doesn't really work. 77 doesn't quite work either, because before that is a -4. I suppose the other way around is that I could actually walk through the unstar and then collect the 92 later. I just need to carve a path that brings me to 64, -4, 16, which is here, and 8, which is here. Oh, but in that case, then all of these I can't walk through. So I can't walk through the back of this. Okay. Well, 92 might not be doable then. In fact, -4, 64, 16, 8. 64, 8, 4, and 1 also does this exact pattern. Okay. So where every single value here occupies a different lane. Here, 64, 4, 2, and 1 don't have this pattern. Here, 32, 32, 16, 4, and 2 also follows this pattern. Okay, so for 3 of these values, every value occupies a different lane, which prevents me from walking through. But for 71 alone, its 4 values don't occupy every lane, so I can walk through one without having to worry. Okay, so I shall walk through everything. And I will carve a path that will bring me to each value. So here I want to leave a path to the -1. I want to leave a path to the 71 as well, of course. Actually, it really doesn't matter. Because it's exact. I want to leave a path to the 4. As well as the path to the -2. Wait, but the 92 is in the way. And I'll have to unstar before that. Okay, so... how do I get to that -2 then? You have to unstart and collect the 92. Oh, well that's fine, because after that I will exact myself to 71 as well, so going to 92 is completely okay. Okay, so that must mean that I do this. The 71 immediately overrides that. And all 4 remaining keys to get me down to 0 are in place and accessible. Yep. Alright. Good stuff. I had to like remind myself on all of things there. Alright, that math works out. Hooray. Okay, and I suppose something opens this. I'm not sure what. But yeah, okay. I think that's good enough for an episode. I've done quite a lot of math, so yeah. Let's see if I can go talk to Kina here. Yeah, new voice line for completing World 7, I think. The backside. Oh, it's also getting weirder. I guess these two show up together. Wow, this place goes on for a while, huh? I might have had more than a couple ideas. If I'm looking at it correct, I guess I'm only halfway done. Solid observation. On a completely unrelated note, do you know what dramatic irony is? Yes? Cool. Anyways, have fun. Well, with this much stuff left, I probably will. I'm certainly not terrified of being on the receiving end of dramatic irony or anything. Nope, not at all. Yeah, dramatic irony. I don't think we are anywhere near halfway done. It's getting weirder. It's just not starting to hit me. Well, tell it to stop because that is rude. No. So what were you gonna say? Right, well, World 7 is already introducing some of the strangest concepts I've seen. And I can't help but notice there's still 4 or 5 more worlds to go. What of it? How'd you even come up with this stuff? It's hard for me to even imagine what could follow that up. I just took the fundamental mechanics of keys and doors and kinda generalized them a bit. I guess so. The bicolored doors look the same as normal at least. The color that's spent is the only difference. I guess normal doors are just like a bicolored door with matching colors. Your noggin's really jogging to expel such jargon. Geez, say that 3 times fast. It means you're getting it. Well, I hope it doesn't get too complicated for me down the line. Well, hey. Nothing stopped you yet. Just keep on going and you might even reach the end. Alright. Fun. How keen I just kind of stared into our soul there for a bit. Alright, so you know the drill. When we're back, we will solve more puzzles. So yeah, the idea that bicolored doors, the concept of bicolored doors work on normal colored doors as well is really interesting. As you can see here, the requirement is the same as the spending. So it requires 6 stone keys, and then it will spend 6 stone keys, which is exactly how regular locks work. So yeah, Kina was right. This is in fact just a generalization of things. So that's really cool. Alright, next episode we'll move on to, I guess, 710 up there. And then we'll see how that goes. Until then, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.